This semester I focused on the local issue of homelessness, particularly in downtown Salt Lake. And with this persuasion project, I wanted to go into a couple of ideas about how we can connect with each other and how that centers us and it centers the people that we connect with, basically in contrasting shame versus connection. So on one hand, shame is basically the original lie. It tells us that we need to hide ourselves or that someone else is less than. And this lie is reinforced when we look away from each other, whether it's intentional or not. It says something to our soul and to the person that we're looking away from. One study that I came across when researching this semester was a thesis, and the man observed that 77% of his homeless sample had at least one schizoid trait. So there's a lot of mentally ill people out there, and a lot of times shame, depression is really a core of that fragmented reality. A lot of times people are seeking human kindness. Well, a lot of people also that are on the streets either have suffered abuse or are at an increased risk to be abused. A lot of times, just simple things such as resources and services that are available, maybe places offering information about other places that can help. Those kind of things really empower people and help them to not feel so lost in the system. I want to give, on the other hand, an experience that I've had where I notice my intentional thoughts are, okay, so I'm going to be shopping downtown and I know that I'm going to run into homeless people, so how can I avoid that? And I literally start planning, and I literally have the thought, if I just don't make eye contact, I think, I'm going to not carry any money so I can tell them I don't have any money, and it's just so much deliberate avoidance to avoid that connection, rather than just saying, hey, I don't want to give you any money, but did you notice the moon tonight? I love that. I hope that you enjoy it too, brother. God is mindful of you. That's the kind of thing I would say, but of course everybody has their own different style. So what can we really do? That's for us to try out. I just propose that you consider what you're doing and how that makes you feel. I'm not saying that one way to respond is better than another. My mom, she makes these bags for the homeless. They're intense, extensive. I don't think I would go that far, but maybe just a smile, maybe just notice other people. Statements of truth, responsibility, and empathy feed our souls. So do smiles and compassion. I've just noticed, in contrast to my avoidance and feeling contention and just feeling animosity towards other people, when I've just acknowledged them and been on my way, I felt more free and empowered, and just like I can be me and not be impacted by other people. I also try to be mindful of resources that I can share with others. I was listening on the radio the other day, and there's a police officer that she suffered abuse at one point in her life, and she made an organization which helps point women, just women at this time, to resources, and a lot of the women end up serving and working for her later on, which is really cool. My friend that lives out of state, she actually posted this on Facebook a year or two ago, where she knew of some places that were hiring, and she saw somebody on the street, and she had this prepared to basically point them in resources. Just think of the message of that she believes in them, and how much that can really mean to a person, especially when they think about it afterwards. Not everybody's going to respond well, but you can't say that nobody's going to respond well either, and you can't say it's not worth it. At least I don't think you can, but that's definitely just for you to think about. In closing, I just would like to share a poem that I really, really love, just a snip of it, by Sam Walter Foss. It says, "Let me live in a house by the side of the road, hear the race of men go by. The men who are good and the men who are bad, as good and as bad as I. I would not sit in the scorner's seat, or hurl the cynic's ban. Let me live in a house by the side of the road, and be a friend to man. Well, I hope that I've given you some things to think about, and at least that you can leave thinking about the contrast between shame versus connection and how smiles can center us all. Thank you for listening.